Okay, looks like we are back. Yeah, wonderful time to lose control of one's pointing device. Special thanks, I guess, to Dave Go Blue. Um, really cool page. And thank you again for everybody who sent me New Year's stuff and Christmas stuff. And, it's just wonderful to hear from y'all. Okay, so now we take when something unexpected happens like that, you got to roll with it. That's something that we should all learn to do in the world around us. So, continuing with the spirit of that, and continuing with the broadcast, of course, we have Project Perceptor. As I was mentioning before, loosely based on Stephen Greer and his CE5 protocols. Not only that, the disclosure movement in general. Let me ask you all a question. Who would want to live in a universe where we were the only ones? Personally, for myself, I believe Drake's equation is all the more proof that I need that we're not alone. So, a lot of, I guess, the activity in Greer's disclosure movement centers around basically using meditation to wave hi to the aliens who may or may not, if there are any flying over and within range, telepathically say, hey, we're here, we're peaceful, let's hang out, let's share knowledge, let's learn, that type of stuff. But the other half of it, and the half that I'm centered on personally, is that, and in the words of one of the first cosmologists, there's going to be nobody here, no sign of anybody here that's going to save us from ourselves. So, here we are in 2016 now, with the world still using gasoline, burning coal, using polluting technologies. Part of the other, I would dare go so far as to say the other half of the disclosure movement would be to eliminate those things so we can truly have a Type 1 civilization. Here's what I started Perceptor to do. So, and we'll get into this. In fact, we'll open this in a new tab and we'll get to it in just a second. Let's get back to the SharePoint. Okay, so we've covered pretty much everything. Perceptor Google+. Let's go here. Now, there's no reason to not, especially when you've got something worthwhile to say, there's no reason to not expand your digital footprint onto everything. And here we are. In addition to the Facebook community, we also have a Google Plus community, and which is actually, I think, a little bit better set up. But here we have Alt Energy, which I just opened up in a window right there. And another thing that I'm trying to get everybody that I could find active in doing is, here is a list, huge list, 230 plus is what they advertise. I believe last count was like 280, and they're all in my sidebar, of non-GMO seed suppliers. You guys might be able to talk to your parents, grandparents about something called a Victory Garden. Well, here we have an ability to end world hunger just by simply if you have a section of your backyard I'm hoping that in the coming year it's going to be just about my whole backyard, but my family will never have to go to the store for vegetables or anything you can make from vegetables ever again. We'll take a brief look right there. And wouldn't you know it? Let's close that one and go here because I already had it open. Huge list. USA, and it's organized by state, and I'm also putting, many of you have seen on social media, I'm actually giving each one of these places where their webpage will load. I've only found like 3 that the page is shut down. But everywhere, 3 out of 280 ain't bad. That's less than 1.5%. Every one of these web pages is a seed supplier. Arizona, California, and any one of you guys can hit me up on Facebook. The link actually to my main Facebook should be right at the top of the broadcast right there, or on my Twitter, direct message me. And as these broadcasts refine, I'll probably also have my cell phone number, just about everything you could need to possibly get in contact with me right there. But okay, so California, Colorado, Florida, all in alphabetical order. Illinois, Iowa, Maine, Michigan, Missouri, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, which is not as big as Colorado, or a couple of the other states. But wow, 18 million people in the NYC/Newark area. Just think, guys, and a lot of these home growers are growing out of their closets, growing tomatoes, fruits, vegetables out of their closets, off their kitchen tables, hanging out a window. There's no place, rooftop gardens. I was actually amazed to see that those are making a comeback. North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, I would imagine is huge, yes. Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Utah. This was actually kind of disturbing to see. My own home state only has like 4 of these suppliers, but here they all are. Washington, USA, UK, and Ireland. I know I've probably got a couple of people listening to this from that area. Dublin, County Cork, Leitrim, Pembrokeshire, or in Dublin, Europe, UK except UK and Ireland. Sweden, Germany, the Netherlands, Canada. Mind you, like I said, these are all non-GMO, so yeah, Prince Edward Isles, Nova Scotia, Ontario, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa even. Okay, so getting back to... Now here's a new addition, Nuke Map. Now, personally, I hate nuclear weapons. Rather than the Manhattan Project and World War II, we probably should have gone with Nikola Tesla and his iron beam. Yeah. What was it Dr. Greer said? Civilizations that have been watching us for millennia saw the tests in New Mexico, the delivery over Hiroshima. Looked at each other and said, "Whoa, these guys have gone way off the reservation." Now they've not only become an existential threat to themselves, but potentially to other planets as we discover them. So let's take a little look-see here. This guy was really good in figuring stuff out. Now, I love nature and the whole world, so to avoid negative feedback and to actually be able to show you guys something that'll hopefully make a lot of you say, "Whoa, crap, yeah, Phoenix, we see what you're talking about." Let us go over to, where do we want to simulate a nuke today? Denver, Colorado, or Los Angeles, California? Just to drive it home, let's say Los Angeles, California. Okay. Pomona, Anaheim, Torrance, Long Beach, Huntington area. Ontario. When I was a kid, I used to land in Ontario Airport to go see my father. Okay, so you can select a preset. We don't want to go there. Let's say Ontario, California. Ontario, California. Select preset in kilotons. Fat Man. Nagasaki. 20 kilotons. No. Let's see. W76, common in U.S. Arsenal. W87, 300 kilotons. Common in the Minuteman missile. If any of you guys have ever watched the movie The Day After, it's one of Steve Guttenberg's earlier ones. They did this film that, okay, here's what would likely happen based upon what we know after a nuclear war, and it was, oh man, it's like that's why I've hated that technology since I was a kid. And over the past 5 years, I've gotten into inventing things, which, like I said, we'll get into the makerspace movement and all of that in gory detail as these broadcasts unfold. But okay, so for right now, let's say W87, current Minuteman missile. Airburst. Radioactive other effects, casualties, and radioactive fallout. 300 kiloton yield. What would that do to Ontario, California? Let's find out. Let's click detonate. And why did that just go back to, let's go Ontario. Clear effect. Detonate. Come on. That is 109,770 fatalities. Each one of those could be your father, your brother, your sister. 292,340 injuries, and that's not counting why is this not Okay, reverse. Let's go surface. Clear all effects. Redetonate. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here is surface detonation. We're actually used to get or close to Vegas that gets. Wow. Enough to make me very uncomfortable in Las Vegas. Never played the Falls. That's ground burst. Like I said, each of these is not acceptable. 64,830 fatalities. Like I said, unacceptable. Estimated injuries, 130,900. Unacceptable. That could be your sister, brother, father, son, daughter, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, you name it. This type of technology, this is a weapon. They don't care who it hits. It doesn't care who it hits. It doesn't even have the ability to care who it hits. Goes down here. So yeah, this is to show, hopefully show the world or anybody who views my page why this technology is unacceptable. When we can be doing so much better using this technology to do something other than wipe ourselves out. So now on the page itself, we have, I think in the earlier broadcast I got a little bit into the motivation with playlist. Pretty cool there. Let's click refresh so my page renders correctly. I said my stepson might be streaming his own channel. Okay, the revolver map came up. That's good. Background image. 1 of 1 rapidly. I need to go out and scout out more. If any of you have anything you'd like to add to that list, please message me on Facebook, send me a text if you have my number, etc. It's always good to help the guy next to you get pulled up by his bootstraps. And several of you have been very instrumental in helping me, and here's where we are as a result of it. Okay, so I was talking about Raw Power 3. I talk about these guys every time I get a chance. And hey guys, I wouldn't be putting it on my own webpage if I hadn't seen it work with my own eyes. Okay, so all the negative press, especially out of the, what was it, KSL? Here in Utah, did a spot on them. Trust me, they're putting it together. They're putting it together under fire, and they're pulling it off. Fresnel lens uses sunlight, heats chrome ball, which is either focusing that sunlight onto a specialized solar panel in the version 2 designs, or in the initial design is focusing that sunlight onto the aforementioned chrome ball, rotating chrome ball, and either heating salt, beyond its melting point or heating water directly. They have a heat exchanger that is totally revolutionary. What little information I have as to how it works, I am not allowed to say anything about, and what I've gotten is by observation. So, I mean, check them out. They do tours in Delta, Utah. Okay, so, and here's the map for Delta, Utah. Project Perceptor. Like I said, who wants to exist in a universe where we are the only inhabitants? And in order to have a Type 1 civilization, I mean, seriously, guys, let's pick up the hammer and create it ourselves. Definitely, now as far as I'm doing everything that I can financially to put into the site, I'm hoping to get, I've got a crowdfund. If any of you want to put in pocket change, that'd be way cool. And that goes to do things like pay for the SharePoint, pay for Hootsuite, which is part of the broadcast system. I will get into that soon enough. Let's see here. Okay, so here we go. King of Random. HHO generator. Which one should we do? Let's say Tesla turbine and how it works. Is there any sound to this? Yep. These guys took the original design, as patented by the man himself, and built their own. So you got to know it works. Now we could probably simplify this by taking the bearing assembly that's in the center there and actually using magnets. Just a thought there. But that way you don't have any bearings to grease. You don't have anything other than the force of two magnets pushing against each other. Front cover exhaust, 5 ports. They take it apart a little bit at a time. EpicPhysics.com, trust me, this is a really cool site. I go there when I get a chance. And it looks like everything that's on the screen right now is made in 3ds Max. I have a few words for you guys. Autodesk Education, check them out. Yeah, this is either Max or Maya that's doing this. The bearing, or not the bearing, the pump assembly. Air comes in, turns these, which it looks like they've got an exhaust on their version, on their design. Okay, so let's take another brief water cool. Okay, so journey to the edge of the universe, inside the Milky Way, secrets of vibration. That's something that I'm trying to get an understanding of myself. Gerard Morin. No, it's not Gerard Morin. Let's see, the Tesla valve. None all of this. Okay, so Time Traveler spent 2 years in 2749. I mean, if it's out there, I'm putting it on here. It's up to you guys to decide what you want to lend credence to and what you do not. I cannot objectively put one thing out there, but not put another thing out there. And here's why I love these things so much. 100 and... No, 14,000, 15,000, 16. 27,842 revolutions per minute. By way of comparison, your CD writer in your computer spins at, I believe, 9,000 RPM, and that's burning at 16x. So, and yeah, like I said, here they're using a laser tachometer on their little miniature Tesla turbine. Imagine what this could do for water. You could run steam in it. Getting back to the Raw Power 3 page, they've actually got a jet propulsion turbine that in testing I was told ran for 3 years without need of maintenance. Has like 2 moving parts. Similar, well, I'm not going to say, I'm going to let Matt Shepard explain that one. But, I mean, here's what people are, here's why I'm in the makerspace movement. Here's what people are building with 3D printers in their houses. Little Tesla turbines. Okay, so Tesla valve. All of the, it's like, okay, so the Hojo permanent magnet motor. That guy's got an interesting design. Yeah, I've been following that for a little while. Similar on the pin post in facebook.com/ROR Perceptor Project. There is like I believe I want to say chapter 2 or 3. Permanent magnet motors. Anyways, yeah, check them out. Gerard Morin is one that has sparked my interest. I was telling you all that I put everything that I could find from Stephen Greer. Here is the serious disclosure. Very, very much worth the watch. For obvious reasons, we're not going to play the whole thing here. Rodin coil. Marco Rodin was a genius, guys. We'll cover that in later broadcasts. Fourth Dimension Made Easy. Carl Sagan. The cosmologist. I was trying to remember his name earlier in the broadcast. Carl Sagan. There is no sign that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. Words to think about there. Rodin coil, 120 volts AC, flying magnet. Let's take a really brief look on here. And we are buffering. Yeah, these guys, every one of these YouTubers function, I mean, the watches their videos get help them further to their technology. That's why I'm giving people, that's why I'm doing this. Help them get their view count up, especially if you're a YouTube Red subscriber like I am. Okay, so let's just play and put that on pause. What else is here? Transistor, how does it work? Supercapacitor Jewel Thief, or otherwise known as Jewel Ringer. Wonderful piece of technology. It's a primitive boost converter, is how it has been described. Okay. And of course, now you can save all this to your Facebook. Okay, so continuing, we have the live stream from, and I'm going to put that on for you guys for just a minute. Using a tool called IFTTT, I've made it so that every time the International Space Station passes above my house, it'll post a link on Facebook. I'm going to put that on for you guys briefly while I figure out the next thing that I'm going to show you during this broadcast. So, hold on just a minute. Live stream recording is not available. Really? That's no good. Our main Facebook front. Project Aegis. Okay, so here is Brains Are Cultivated. It's my Pinterest page. There's a lot of good information there, a lot of maker-centric stuff. Northern Lights. Now, any SEO people out there, if you guys could tell me why that I'm not even getting, on my page ad, I'm not even getting a cent, would be greatly helpful. Okay, we have the music section. Here is the stuff that I put on to code when I'm coming up with ideas. Here's the stuff that I put on to do that. And where possible, I am going to try to put links to everybody who's helping out. Here's Stephen Greer's Twitter. And that looks like a good place to conclude the broadcast. I love questions, comments, just about anything. You can reach me on Facebook, which the link is right there, facebook.com/Phoenix the Techno Druid, or on my Twitter, or in future broadcasts I'll have better setup right there. So it looks like a good place to say over and out. Sorry about the earlier interruption. Talk to you guys all very soon.